Then you have a new video out.
Oh yeah, you talking about Hall of Fame?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was hard, bro.
Yeah, that ain't my car though. Actually,
not?
that's the guy in the video. His
Mhm.
name is Juan. We grew up together. So them guys that's in the video, we grew up like at the sandbox together.
Damn.
So,
hey,
bro.
is Juan the same age as you?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Hey, isn't it crazy, like, seeing, like, the people you grew up with kind of, like, still around and stuff?
Hell yeah, like man, to even be in contact with people that I went to high school with, like, and still have good relationships, good friendships with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I guess you would say, like, Diego's one of those people, huh?
Diego, you already know Diego, my boy. You my boy too.
Yeah.
And Brian, Lewis,
Yeah, hell yeah. Of course, man. I feel like everybody's still family, you get me?
Yeah.
I always wanted you, bro, to like play with us on the field. I don't know whatever happened, but
I mean, like, shit. I knew I wanted to work out, so
I feel you.
I wasn't really interested in football as much.
Right.
I just want to look good and everything. So
I get you.
That's pretty much it. That wasn't what my mind was set to do, But one thing it did teach me though, through working out through football, is hard work and dedication.
Hard work and dedication. You
Hard
kind
work
of
and
sounding like my boy
dedication.
Nipsey right now.
Man, that's my boy, man. I'm a quadruple fan since day one, man.
Yeah, bro. Hey,
Since
bro,
high school.
I saw you when you came out in the news, dog. Did you see that?
Yeah, I seen that shit.
Hey, how did it feel, man? Because honestly, like, I've always wanted to be like on TV. Like, I've always wanted to be like on the news or something, get interviewed. How did that feel? How did that make you feel?
Man, actually, it felt good because on top of Nipsey being my favorite artist, I never got to attend a show. So I was even able to attend his funeral. So I was inside the Staples Center, me and my fiance. So, and then we on Sauce and Crenshaw, and the news reporter asked me, like, do you got something to say about this? Like, I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, yeah, I'll say something about Nipsey. So it was like, exciting, but it was kind of like motivational. Like, the marathon continues. Like, he knew who was his real fans, and he just passed the torch. So marathon continues. I'm gonna keep it going.
So, and that's the best way to start the show today. Welcome everybody to the Drippy Faucet Podcast. I'm your host, Jesus Flores. Today, guys, I have a brilliant individual. He goes by the name of Young Woo. He's a great artist, guys. I'm not playing with you. In fact, if somewhere along the show he feels like presenting a little bit of his talent, then we'll do that. But I just want to go ahead and say, man, that when I think about people from the neighborhood that have great ideas and are actually doing something about it, Young Woo comes to mind. And I just want to say real quick, bro, I'm really proud of what you're doing so far. I hope you continue to inspire people in your neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
One of your key philosophies is owning property, real estate, investing. In fact, the name of his brand is Own the Block?
Yes, actually, it's Block Material Clothing.
Okay.
On the Block.
So the whole thing together?
Together.
Okay.
Educating the generation after on the importance of ownership and self-investing.
Okay.
So I'm a student of the game. So I don't know everything, but I'm learning as I'm going. So the things I learn, people that's coming up under me, my generation under me, they see that. So what I know, I'm gonna bring back to my community, and that's the reason why On the Block is like the best seller, because it's like on the block. It's catchy, like somebody on the block can feel that, but at the same time, somebody on Wall Street, they really know the meaning. Real estate, owning everything. Your masters, Nipsey preached that, so that's what he did. If you notice, that's what he did before he left. He owned his block. You feel me?
No doubt. Like literally, right?
Literally owned his block. You feel me? I'm a student of the game. I soaked the game.
Right.
I took it and ran with it.
Right.
I'm trying to own the block too.
That's what's up. Hey, bro. So, what inspired you to become an artist?
Well, I've always been interested in music. I used to listen to Crisscross, Greatest Hits. That was my first album I had. Growing up, my parents bought me like karaoke machines and stuff. And
what age? Like, what age were you already like messing around with like music?
Elementary.
So since you were a little boy.
Yeah. When I used to be in class, like in English reading.
Yeah.
I used to read every line.
Uh-huh.
I used to read it. and I used to read it over again, but try to say it so it could rhyme with the next line. So I'm trying to change the story and make it rhyme. And
so you were always exercising your creativity,
always,
even when the teachers sometimes didn't value your creativity.
exactly.
Because sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, being a teacher is very rigid. Like, we have rubrics, right? And you have to kind of, like, if you want an A, you gotta come at me with a certain style.
Exactly.
As a teacher, I try to kind of deviate from that because I understand that there's fools like you that are just already thinking at another level of connection, right? And if you're able to connect an idea to your own life, that to me is an A.
Man, for real.
You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you were inspired as a kid. You started messing around with music. Who's like one of your favorite artists aside from Nipsey?
Aside from Nipsey, I like Rick Ross, Meek Mill, Mozzie, Gang, Snoop, everything West Coast, T.I. But the artists I like the most are the ones that, aren't just good musicians or artists. They make good business moves. You look at T.I., he's from the South. He got trap music, From that, he started his own company. He's bigger than ever. He moved like a boss. Rick Ross, all he talk like a boss. He moved like a boss. Nipsey, the same thing. So I think I'm just, that intrigues me.
For sure.
Boss moves, and music I can learn from,
Definitely. So when you create your music, like, who do you, like, is there like a source of inspiration, like a point where you're like, you know what, I kind of like this person's style, I like this person's style. Like, who do you borrow from? Who do you take from?
I don't believe I take from anybody as far as my style is original. But I say artists I can relate to, like Nipsey, Meek Mill, like all the artists I name, because I speak on real life situations. Even Ice Cube, I might say something, about law enforcement.
Right.
I might say something about, getting up out the hood, or just speaking on what I seen. Or I might just be given a set of instructions. If you're gonna do this is how you should move.
Right.
So everything with me is trying to be realistic and relatable.
Okay. So what does music mean to you, bro?
Man, expression. Music is life, man. Music is life. You can't tell me how life would be without music, man. What would life be without music?
It would suck, bro.
Man, boring.
I would hate it.
Boring. I wouldn't want to, work out, nothing.
Right.
It's motivational. It's like when you're feeling down, it can bring you up, calm you. So music is life, bro.
No doubt.
It's everything.
I feel like there's a lot of rhythm in life. You give me, like, you catch a rhythm, you wake up at this time, by 10 a.m. you're doing this, and we catch a rhythm, right?
Exactly.
And for me, that's what music is.
Rhythm.
So without that rhythm, I'm a robot.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And the last thing I want in my life is to become a robot that has no emotions, that has no passion, that has nothing.
Exactly.
Right? So I love music, and for that very reason, like, that's dope as hell. So again, kind of going back to your brand name, can you kind of elaborate a little bit as to why you decided to choose that name?
Actually, I was thinking about a brand name for a long time. I always knew I wanted to be an owner. And actually, the day that I went and registered my business name, Block Material Clothing.
Damn, so you already registered and everything?
Yeah, I'm registered and everything,
How was that process? Like, before we get into that, like, the history of On the Block,
It's actually,
I want to know the process. Because I know they want to know the process. If you want to start a business,
man,
he's about to tell you how.
Man, it's simple. You think of a name, and if you got $100, you go to the county registry, you type it in and make sure that name is not taken. And if it's not taken, it's yours. Do your brand name.
Damn, that easy. That easy.
And that's just how I go.
Damn.
So, on the day of, and in my neighborhood, it's like a lot of people think being on the block is something, like hanging out is something. Like, I used to think hanging out was something, being on the block was something, but listening to artists like Nipsey, makes my mind a little broader. Like, the world is bigger than just the block. But at the same time, I'm from the block. I'm from the hood. I'm from the streets. I'm from the. I caught the same bus as you caught. I went to the same school as you. So I wanted to be able to have you understand me, but tap in with my people and take them out. Sort of like how Pac was trying to do with Thug Life, the hate you give. You feel me?
Yeah.
He was trying to tap in with the hood and the minorities and everybody going through their struggles to lead them out. So, you know, that's what I wanted to do. Change the meaning of on the block. Like, we trying to own something now. Now the kids that was looking up to the people hanging on the block, they looking up to dudes like me. That's like, man, he come from here, but he doing something positive. He got his own clothing line, you know? He making his own music. He own his masters, you know? So
right. I think that's the most impressive part, bro. Is like you want to cut the middleman.
Exactly.
Right?
Man.
Because we always lose out in so much opportunity and profit when we cut through all these different levels.
Man. When
instead we can be the man.
Exactly.
Right? Another part that's really cool about the brand is that you're trying to make it very relatable.
Exactly.
Right? So you can get all the knuckleheads, right, that are probably just gonna do dumb stuff to kind of listen to you. Exactly. And now you can become more of a mentor and be like, yo man, here's the game.
Yeah.
Check this book out real quick.
Exactly.
Or whatever it is
Yeah.
that you have to share with them. And that's super dope because that's what we want, right? We want to be able to inspire the next generation.
Exactly.
Because we made mistakes, right?
Exactly.
That's another part of this show, right? I want to tell you about how we messed up so that you can have an advantage in your life so you can get to where we're going to get to a lot faster. What plans do you got, bro? What plans do you got?
Well,
for your career?
For my career?
Yeah.
Well, eventually I want to be able to, you know, like control my brand full time. Like right now, you know, it ain't a full-time thing for me, you know. So I'm in it for the long run though. I'm trying to build a brand. So if I'm gone, it's still here. For my family, for my kids can eat, you know, and to teach them, like, you know, to be bosses. Like, it's all about bossing up, man. Like, owning something. Like, you know, we got people who talk about it but ain't being about it. You feel me? That's the difference. Like, a lot of dudes on the block, they yap. But them owners, them bosses, they move in silence. They got the properties. They owning everything, but they ain't doing too much talking. So that's exactly what I wanted to do. I can go out to the hoods and preach this, do my music. I can do that, which I'm also doing, but I want them to see that because when they hear on the block, they might like it because it sound hood. But somebody gonna let them know what that means. You feel me? If not me, somebody's gonna know. So I'm just trying to inspire. That's it.
Right.
It's bigger than just hanging. You gotta, if you want it, go get it. Period. You know, don't let nothing stop you. And you know, you gotta own it. You gotta own it.
Right. And I it makes me wonder, bro, cause like I don't know about your history as far as like your family, but as far as like my immediate family, and you could go kind of like a couple generations back in the family tree, you can see that there's a lack of ownership.
Yeah.
Of stuff in general, right?
Yeah.
And the best thing we get to own is just kind of like dumb shit. At the end of the day, it's kind of like cars, right?
Man, lose value.
Which is a liability.
Exactly.
Right? So we own nothing but liabilities upon liabilities upon liabilities.
With no assets.
And we just keep like losing our money, right?
That's debt. You putting yourself in debt with all them liabilities.
Exactly. In your own perspective, what would be a smart investment to make as soon as you can? Because I know a lot of people watching are like, man, you tripping. I don't even have money. Like, how am I going to start investing? So, like, if you think that somebody broke is watching this, what should be their first investment?
Themselves. You got to invest in yourself. You got to know who you are. First of all, you got to look in the mirror. You got to talk to yourself. This is what you're trying to do. You got to build your self-health. You got to stay healthy. You know, when you're healthy, when you look good, you feel good. So that's the first thing. You got to invest time in yourself. You know, with the money and everything, invest in yourself. You want to be an artist? Buy them tools. Buy that paintbrush. You know, buy that notebook. You know, you want to rap? Buy that composition book. You know, make them notes in your phones because we in a different time right now, you know? Just do it on the real. And, you know, I grew up, my parents like, get a job, you know? But with me, I look back at like a job. If they were to go today and I was a kid, and both of my parents go, would that job take care of me, like, and my kids? So I'm trying to think bigger, because you're supposed to take it farther than your parents took it. You feel me? And growing up, like my uncle, say, he sold a lot of stuff. He flipped cars, you know, for a long time. He didn't have a job. He a working man now, but bottom line is it was ownership. So I got to see that at an early age. So I think I'm one of the first in my family to really go legit with the ownership.
Right. All right.
Nah.
So how do you hope to inspire your young one, bro?
You know, just be better than me, if not as good as me. Because I ain't making it easy. I'm trying to set the bar high.
Right.
My thing is to set the bar as high as possible. So, you know, with me growing up, one thing I noticed about myself was I thought about what my father would do in a situation. What would my father do in a situation? Or when I'm looking for a job, I want to do what my father is doing, you know? So I understand. And you know, my father actually sent me a Bible testament, John 5:16, I believe. A son needs his father because a son will only do as his father does. So I'm trying to set the bar high, so you know, my kids after me can just know, Daddy did it like this, so I can't do nothing less than that. So not even just my kids, but you know, my community, the world. I'm trying to inspire everybody, man. I'm trying to make a really big impact on the world, you know? I got a good story to tell and everything, so.
Hell yeah. And part of that story, which is a good segue to my next question, is like, it's not obvious to them. He's from the projects.
Yeah.
And the question that I want to ask you is like, how did growing up in the projects shape your perception of life?
Okay. Well, growing up in the projects as a kid, first of all, it was fun. That's all I can say. It was totally fun, you know. It's not the same anymore in the community. You know, but at the same time, it's fun, but you're exposed to a lot. You know, you walk outside your door, it's drug users, drug dealers, gangs, you know. You walk a mile that way, that's a hood. You walk a mile that way, that's a hood. So, and also, it teaches you to be aware, you know, because you don't know what can happen. So you gotta watch everything. You gotta be aware of your surroundings. You gotta know how to survive. So I feel what growing up in the projects gave me is survival skills. Because you know, I'm not the one that was ditching class or nothing. Nah, I ain't do none of that. On the block, you need some type of education. So I went to class and everything, but when I go home is what I got to see. So, you know, it's like I got to see this, I go to school and I learn that. But I'm soaking in both of them. Hood smarts and book smarts.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
bringing them into one.
Yeah.
So that's a part of my music too. That's why I feel like my story is relatable, because I don't just relate to the streets. I relate to that boy who, you know, grew up in HP, who played football, you feel me, who grew up to become a teacher. So, you know, I try to be universal with everything I do. I don't want to just have one target. Like, I'm not just trying to speak to the hood. You know, I'm from the hood gonna understand me, but you know, I'm trying to speak to everybody. I want everybody to feel me.
Right. I love that, bro. Trying to be universal. When our language is universal, we reach a wider audience.
Exactly.
Right? And at the end of the day, I don't want just Watts to listen to my podcast. Exactly. I don't want just HP to listen to a podcast.
Man.
My goal is to go international.
Exactly.
Right? To have some random folks in Korea be like, yo, J-Flow, I saw your show, it was dope.
Man.
Right? Like, that would just make me like
blow my mind.
Exactly. But it's totally possible, bro, because we live in a world of globalization where literally the internet has connected every corner of the world as long as you got some type of Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, I got a quick story, because you know you talked about survival, right? Like the hood, the projects basically taught you how to survive, and those skills are hella useful.
Yes.
Because in certain situations in life, when you meet an obstacle, you're just like, nah, bro, I've gone through worse.
Exactly.
Right. I think one of the first times that I showed up to projects, you know, Lewis, my boy, we're hanging out, and I come with some slippers, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Damn, bro, messing up."
Yeah, you can't
messing
do that.
up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And it was just like I never had thought about that, right?
Yeah.
Because like even though HP is not an earthly paradise, it's still not South Central.
Yeah,
It's
it
still
ain't-
not the
it
projects, right?
I actually feel like I ain't gotta look over my shoulder as much when I'm in HP. So it's like it's more comfortable. But you know, slippers is a no-no. You know, back in the day, 52 push-ups. You got on slippers, 52 push-ups.
Really?
Can't, cause you slipping. Slippers, you slipping. If you gotta run, your foot can step on a nail. You hopping around. You know, you don't know what's going on. So no slippers, and you know, you actually get to see the lifestyles. Like I got to see the lifestyles. Like some of my friends, you know, are like in life doing prison. Some of my friends are not doing nothing, you know. Some of my friends, my old friends, we don't even hang out no more, you know. So, you know, but I just try to learn every day, man.
What is one lesson or one of the greatest lessons you ever learned from coming up where you came up?
Cherish everything.
Mm.
You know, cause you know, growing up in the projects, we don't have too much. You know, as a kid, it feel like the world and everything, but as you get older, you can't get them shoes you want. You start realizing, you know. But cherish everything you got, you know. Don't take nothing for granted, like, you know. And at the end of the day, if I was to stop doing and not keep going, I'm looking back at that's where I would go. You feel me? So that's the motivation. I gotta move forward. I can't. Nah, we gotta change. I gotta be better than, you know, make my generation get better. Like everything supposed to get better. Family get better.
For sure. So, you know, sometimes, you know, people get this idea that because you're a rapper and you're kind of like working really hard that we're perfect. No, that's far from the truth.
Exactly.
So what are a couple key mistakes that you've made as a young man that have allowed you to become a better man currently?
I won't say it was well, it's a mistake, but it's not a regret. I feel like what I'm doing now, I could have started younger.
Okay.
I could have been at because you know I was in middle school. My boy Brian McGuyan, he'd tell you he was sitting right next to me when I was in my notebook writing raps, freestyling for him. Back to HP when I was doing it for him, Diego, and Manny, and everybody, you know, the whole classroom.
For
so
sure.
I feel like I could have started sooner.
Right.
Feel me? I feel like I would be more ahead. You know, so that's one thing I want to say to the youth. If you recognize your talent 13, 14, 15, 16, you know you got a talent, focus, pursue that talent. If that's your passion, pursue that. Don't wait. Do it now.
What happened, bro? Like what was the obstacle? What was the fear? What was that thing that didn't allow you to just be like, you know what? I know I can do something with this. Like, why didn't you get started on it younger?
Well, I had, you know, since I was 14, my father's been in my ear talking about you need a job. Job. So, you know, in his mind, it can't, you know, at that time it couldn't be done. A job was the only way. So, you know, and plus, you 18, like once you're 18, you legally grown, you gotta get it on your own. So I gotta get some type of money before I can invest my money into anything. And, you know, at 19, I had a kid, you know, so trying to, you know, be daddy of the year and be the best rapper. It was kind of hard.
It was like 2 full-time jobs at the same time.
It was kind of hard. So, you know, I couldn't do it full time like how I wanted to, but every now and then I go to the studio and multiple times I said I'm done rapping.
Really?
Multiple times I'm done rapping. I felt like I ain't have it no more. Like I ain't rap for a year and then I feel like I ain't got it no more. But then I get into that studio and it's just that spark is just released. So you know that's one reason why what made me chose to and continue to pursue what I'm pursuing right now. You know, be an entrepreneur, because that's what I want to do. Every time I stop, I always end up back where I ultimately want to be.
Right.
You feel? I mean, on the path that I want to be on.
Right.
So, you know, and actually I seen an interview with, you know, my favorite artist Nipsey, and he said the same thing. You know, I knew that I wanted to rap because every time I quit, I always start back, and that happened all the time. Like, and you know, the recent time, because I just read this Block Music 2 is my third mixtape that I released.
Okay.
Block Music, that was my second, and my first one was called No Holding Back.
Okay.
I released that in like 2013, 2014.
So a minute ago.
A minute ago, but I didn't release Block Music till 2018, last year.
Okay.
So that's because I finally said, look, this is what I'm gonna do. You know, my fiance, she got me a Mac. She got me a mic. I told her this is what I wanna do, you know, and she got all the equipment. So that inspired me, because it's like, I said, this is what I need, this is what I wanna do, and she supported me enough to do that. So that means she had faith in me.
Right.
So that's really what it took, a little bit more faith in me. Like, you know, like, my parents, they did everything they could as parents. They guided me, but as far as, you know, they never did it. So I understand it's like a fear in it. Like, you know, they don't want to see me fail.
Yeah.
But if I don't try, how I'ma know?
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So having all the equipment and resources to do it, and, you know, getting compliments about it. You know, when I don't rap, people, why you stop rapping, man? I'm waiting for your new shit to drop. Let me know. So it's like, man, I gotta, you know, it put pressure on me, like what I'm doing, you feel me? And then my friends, they still rapping, like they on stage. I want to get on stage with them. I got some hot stuff to spit with them, and so, you know, and I just put in my head, this is what I want to do. So this is what I want to do, and, you know, the thing is, the times that I was rapping, like when I dropped my first mixtape, you know, I feel like, all right, this is hot, man. I need to blow up off this one. I'm gonna blow up off this one. I know I am. So, you know, at times it didn't happen. It kind of was discouraging. You feel me? Like now what my father said, maybe he was right. Maybe what my mama said was right. Maybe it's a reason, you know, why my family not supporting me as much as I should, as much as they should. But then once I start believing in myself and saying, forget what they say, that's when they start supporting me. Like, it's like you gotta believe in yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number one too. Invest in yourself. You gotta believe in yourself. Have confidence. Period. You know, they see that. If you're not serious about your craft and they see that, he's not serious, so why would I take him serious? He's serious, so I'm going, he know what he's talking about. Let me support him. Let me hear what he gotta say. So, you know.
Yeah, definitely. First of all, shout out to your fiance, man, for being your number one supporter.
Man, for real.
Right?
Shout out to you, babe.
Because honestly, man, if our day ones, if our family, if our friends, everybody that matters to us, if you guys are not supporting us, like, who is?
Man,
right? Especially in the beginning of all of this. Right? In the beginning of all of this, if you guys can't push the narrative, use your word of mouth, which is the most powerful form of marketing. Man. Contagious, a book that Nipsey put me on.
Man, I'm on that one next, man, after Ask Gary V, man.
You gotta get it, bro. You gotta get it.
Man.
So as much as you might need us, we also need you. Number two, it's pretty crazy how, like, even though both of our dads come from completely different cultures, they have the same thought of work. And it's crazy because when I was young, bro, like 15, 16, like obviously like my passion was like football, you know, so I just wanted to do that. But my dad was always like, you gotta get a job, you know, I'm tired of you just wasting your time. And it's just like, I kind of felt that same way, right? Like, why can't you support me, right? But maybe I wasn't all in, not enough. They didn't believe in it enough because maybe I wasn't producing enough. But you brought up the idea that they just wanted the best for you.
Exactly.
The last thing my dad wanted was to raise a bum-ass son.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So he thought if I make him get a job, even if it's at McDonald's, he's gonna learn what it is
to work,
to bust his ass.
Exactly.
Because that's all our parents ever done for the past 40 years is bust their ass,
Man.
9 to 5 from Monday through Friday, and they got the weekends off if they were lucky.
Man, for real.
Right? So from one side, I love the idea of like working hard for what you want, but at the same time, there's a couple flaws in the form of thinking as well, because sometimes it doesn't allow you to fully express your full creativity
Exactly.
or passion,
Exactly.
because it's a pressure that's just like, I want to do what I love, but at the same time, I have the pressure to just get a 9 to 5.
Yeah, and the thing about a 9 to 5 is like work. Work is what it sounds like. It's, you know, physical, more of the physical side. You know, we want to, if you want to get to the wealth, it's more the mental side. You feel me? So that's the thing that I feel like our parents may not have preached. You know, like, because they probably tried it. You never know, they probably tried it and it didn't work. So, you know, now they got fear. I don't want my son to, I know what this will turn out to be. You know, not understanding that my son could be possibly take it farther than I took it. But we won't know until he tries. So once you get to that point where you do it whether anybody supports you or not, like, because that's what you want to do. And they're going to support you regardless.
Right. Kind of switching the topic a little bit. What's it like, bro? What's it like growing up in America with 3 Ks as a black man?
3 Ks?
Well, like if you spell America and you put 3 Ks.
America. Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? White supremacist
Man.
country.
I feel like I'm a target, man. Period, man. Period. Like, from the police to my own people. You know, you got jealousy. You got racism. Shit. And you know, you got obstacles that I feel like other people, maybe other minorities may relate to, but like, it's certain things I can't do. I can't get away with. I gotta be, it's like I'm on pins and needles. Some that, you know, I'm not racist at all, but you know, a white male may be able to get away with. I won't be able to get away with. Like, it's like they throw the book at the minorities, at young black men. You know, they just throw the book at us. And the reason I believe that is because, you know, it's modern day slavery. At the end of the day, you know, they look at us as slaves. So useless. So just like it's strategy, it was strategic to change it from enslavement to imprisonment. You still taking males away from their family. You still leaving kids fatherless. You know, you still giving us, basically killing us, you know, taking away from our family, and getting rich off of it, you know. So I feel like being young and black in America is bittersweet, because I love it, you feel me? I love it. I ain't gonna lie, I love it, you feel me? Because I feel like a king. I'm proud of the skin I'm in. I feel like a king. And you know, hate go both ways. It's like, hate can discourage you, but sometimes hate motivates you. So if I'm already feeling like a king and I got people hate me because I'm feeling like that, or they think, it's just more motivation, you know. So
Yo, that's dope though, bro. Because you're basically utilizing your oppression to lift you up.
exactly.
Which is like kind of like the turn that I'm beginning to make at 25. Because like I know a lot, and I read like a million books, right?
Yeah.
About my oppression, the oppression of my peoples, and like for a long time I was stuck in a cycle of like depression and anxiety, because I was just like, man, you know, the system is always trying to bring us down. Sure, that may be true.
Yeah.
But what's next?
Yeah.
Right? Like, do I want to get stuck as the small man because I'm always feeling oppressed? Or do I want to utilize that knowledge and then find a way, like you have, to use that to motivate me to stop being such a small man?
Exactly. They put us in these positions to be small so we won't be able to realize our powers.
Definitely.
You know, so, and that's where the hate comes from. That's why they want to throw us away. Because we haven't realized our true power yet.
Mm.
And it's just a matter of time. You know?
No doubt, no doubt. And it's like, I think it's like fools like you and I that are beginning to realize that, right? And regardless of whatever happens from here forward, I think that there's a win in attempting to find your freedom within a system of slavery.
Exactly.
That has perpetually enslaved our ancestors for a very, very long time.
Exactly. And to take your first foot forward into stepping away from slavery is ownership. The first thing you want to do is own. You feel me? That's gonna get you the closest thing away from enslavement. You ain't gonna have to worry about the jealousy, none of that. You know, it ain't gonna really matter.
For sure. So one thing that I really like to do in the show is like give them like practical advice or practical values. What are some practical things that they can leave with today and be like, you know what? After this podcast between J Flow and Young Woo, I can utilize this right now on the spot and become a better man or a woman or any other person that may be out there.
If you want to do something, just do it. Like right now, while you watching this video, you want to be a poet, write a poem. Start putting more time into your craft. Start putting more time into your passion, what you want to become. Start working towards that. Do it now, don't wait. Just do it now. That's the best advice I can give you. Anything you see me doing, you see Jesus doing, you can do it too. You know, and I used to watch interviews and wonder what is they talking about? Like, what are they talking about? I can do it too. Like, how? Man, it's easier than ever now. We got the internet. Look on the internet. How to? I ain't never went to automotive school at all, but I know how to do an oil change. How to do an oil change? YouTube. You know, so whatever you're trying to do, if you got a passion for it, learn that and master that.
Perfect. Hey, bro, so I don't want to pressure you or anything, but if you would like to, you know, spit something
No
for
problem.
the audience.
No problem. But before I do that, I want to give you a copy of, this is Block Music 1.
Oh man, thank you, brother.
Music
I want to
too.
show. I want to go ahead and show the audience a little closer. Guys, check it out. I think you can find it on Spotify.
Spotify,
Let's go ahead and
iTunes,
place this right
Apple
here.
Music, all the digital platforms.
Check this out. Check this out. It's got the J Flow approval. Definitely, no doubt. I've been listening to some of the songs, bro, and I just bump it in my car, and I'm just like, wow, like this is a friend, man. That is doing this and like music, and it's on my phone in my car, like Jesus Christ.
Man.
Whenever you're ready, bro.
All right. These niggas doing it wrong, but I'm doing it right. My shit dope like when they first started moving to white. If I'm on a private jet, then I blow on the flight. My homies behind the walls, I'ma shoot them a kite. Real man talking, little boy, scoot to the side. Everybody eats, I go and get the food for my tribe. Do my dirt myself, ain't got a question who gonna ride. They better know the respect when Young Woo on the mic. You rap what you ain't bout, but my music, my life. I like to give them the game, bring the truth to the light. I got a gun, you got a knife. That's just stupid to fight. Don't trust your kind, you the type. Show the proof to the whites. Early mornings out grinding on the stool to the night. That's a gamble, it's my turn, I won't lose on the dice. Wartime young troopers going through for their stripes. From the town where you catch a place and ruin your life.
Yo, guys,
Man.
This right here is my brother Young Woo. He's obviously brilliant. I'm excited to see what he does in the future. And that's it for the show. But do you have, like, in case they want to find out more about you, maybe find you on the internet, on social media, where can they find you?
You can subscribe to my YouTube, Young Woo, YUNGWOO. Facebook, the same thing. My Instagram, Young Boss Nigga Woo _ I got a clothing line, Block Material Clothing. On the block, this one of the short sets right here. Check me out, man. Hit me up on the real, then tap in with me.
I'm your boy J Flow, and that's today. We're done with our interview and our show. Thank you very much, brother. I had a blast today.